training our equine athletes and keeping them fit and well. And the role of an equine osteopath is a huge part of it, but actually not one that we hear too much about. So Rodani here is going to be our model, and Shirley's going to explain exactly what it is that you do, because it is something that's very important. We don't hear too much, but for people that are new to it, what exactly do you do?
Well, I am an osteopath, like you said, and a physiotherapist. So basically, I work on the skeletal system of the horses, and I adjust any restrictions in the spine or in the joints, and also work on the muscles at the same time.
Wow, so yeah, hugely important for any athlete. So he's your new patient,
yes.
Should we say. What are you doing first? Are you assessing him? Are you working on him straight away?
So first we will assess him. We'll see how his all of the joints, how they are moving, the mobility, if there's any tightness in the muscles, how the tendons are doing, and the fetlocks, if they're sore, if they're not, so that we know what we are working with.
And how do you find that out? Is it just a matter of sort of pressure points, or how does it all work?
Well, if you want, I can show you how it works now.
Please. I'm very interested. Ranu very kindly come early today to help us out with this, so we thank you.
All right, so first we will check the pole, how it is moving. If it's moving in every direction, if it can. If there's any kind of restrictions. For example now, you can see he's a little bit reluctant to give me his head onto this side here, bending to this side, so then we'll check onto this side here. So a lot of what we do is, there you go, you see here, he is able to move a little bit more freely. So that to me tells me that his neck is bent towards the right side and he's difficult in bending towards the left. Oh. So already there we know there's a little bit of restrictions that needs to be worked on.
So is that something quite common in racehorses, that they might bend better to one side than the other?
Any racehorse, yes, and any sports horse. Okay. Any jumping, endurance, dressage, flat racers, they're all built the same. So it's just the different kind of, the different sports that they're in. But otherwise, a lot of horses have the similar kind of restrictions, yes.
So now you've identified that issue. What's the next step?
So now what we continue is then we just see how he's doing for the rest of the body. Check out the tendons. Well, it's just a little bit of a nudge there. See that everything is all right. Checking the shoulder. We want to see if the mobility is good. There you go. Easy. So here I'll say there's a slight little restriction in the shoulder. The elbow is looking fine. Easy. Easy.
And I guess with older horses, he's getting on a bit now, you're going to find more issues than you would with a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah, just wear and tear.
The wear and tear, the usual, yes. The more mileage that they have, the more restrictions they might have. But mind you, some horses are stronger than others, and some horses can take more mileage than others.
Mm-hmm. And what are you doing now? What are you looking for now?
Easy. I'm checking out the mobility of the spine, seeing if there's any, and you see how the fluctuation there in the muscles, so there's a little sensitivity going on there, seeing how the muscles, tightness of the muscles, you see it's a little bit here in this area. After that you want to test and see how the spine is moving. You see there is some restrictions coming onto my side here.
Wow. And you can tell that from the way he's acting.
Yes.
Primarily. He's not particularly enjoying that.
Not really. He's more able to bend with his neck towards the right side. He's got a slight little restriction in the shoulder. Not too happy in the wither area. A little bit in the lumbars. His pelvis needs a little bit of work on this side, for example. And then you have the hock. All right? Anything else on this side? I haven't found any issues in the tendons, the fetlocks, so those ones on this side, they're doing good.
Okay, so we're 50% of the way through the
there you go.
sort of thing. I can see why it takes some time. Wow, okay. So then how would you set about correcting those issues so much as you can without a vet?
Well, what we do then is the mobility part, the adjustments. So now we will have to find out how he is on the other side, and then we'll do the assessment.
Yeah. And I guess you're not expecting the same, because why would it be the same on both sides?
Some horses, have the similar issues on both sides. Some horses are more restricted on one side, having more problems on one side than the other. So it's all individual, really. You can't really assess a horse from all points of view, like all same horses are the same. Easy boy. Then again, just checking how his muscle is doing here. So on this side, he's softer, it's nicer, it doesn't have any strong contractions as on this side here. Here he was having more reaction. There you go, easy boy. And you see on this side here, he's moving more freely than what he did on the other side. Oh. Easy boy. So basically what we have found out now is that his neck is more bent towards the right, making it difficult going to the left, while his lumbars is more bent towards the left side, difficult going to the right. Oh, easy boy.
Really interesting.
Oh, easy, easy. Easy, good boy. So again, just checking the tendons, seeing if there is any restrictions there. Here we have a slightly restriction in the hip. It's easier going forward than going backwards. Easy boy.
And could any of what you're finding be sort of stiffness because he hasn't raced in 2 months?
It could be because of that. It could be because of his age. There's a numerous of things. So it could be, the stiffness could be due to, yes, that he hasn't been racing. It's the same thing as us. If we don't do anything for a long period of time, then of course we stiffen up. So yes, that is definitely a possibility with that. But also it could be just of his age, that he's been racing a lot before. Just because he's not racing now, he has a history of racing. So next step is now we start working on the body. So now I will start working on the muscles to help release a little bit of the tension, and then we'll go into adjusting the pelvis, the hips, and then we'll go on to the lumbars, so the lower back of the horse, and work ourselves forward, basically. So we said that he had this little issue in the pelvis on this side. So right now we're just going to help loosen up the muscles. Easy, boy, easy. Easy, 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 easy. There's one thing also that is affecting also a lot the body, the fascia. So if you cut through the fascia, you will create some scar tissue. And in order, easy, 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 you have to help the body release that scar tissues so that you get the mobility back. Now this boy has been castrated, so there's something that is called the gelding scar. So we need to release that gelding scar also at the same time, because that will help release any problems in the pelvis.
Really?
The hips.
I've never heard that before. That's interesting.
Easy boy, easy, easy, easy. Good boy. So you see he's moving a lot, he's not sure, but at the same time he's sighing, he's chewing, he's playing with his lips. So that to me is an indication that yes, he's understanding, we're good, easy. Some horses might not like this, so we'll see how he's doing. Easy boy. So effectively we're just mobilizing the fascia in this area, and some horses might find it discomfortable in the first few, yep, there you go, in the first few tugs, but after that, they normally start relaxing and accepting and understanding that we are actually here to help them out. Easy, easy, yep, oh. Good boy, easy. Good boy, easy, easy.
And would you do anything different if this was the middle of the season and he was racing? Obviously, it's a treatment that can happen. It's not, you don't have to have as with medication, there's no withdrawal time. This is something you could do throughout the season.
What you can do, yes, you can work with this throughout the season, but I would never, good boy, but I would never say that let's do the treatment just before a race, for example, because if it's the first time that we're working on a horse, you are creating a whole new balance, which the horse is not used to working anymore. So it's a completely new mobility. All of a sudden, instead of the horse going like this, the horse can actually take long steps. So at the same time, the muscles they need to strengthen up. Mm-hmm. So it's like us after going to the gym and we start new, if we are lifting heavier weights or anything like this, well, our muscles get tired. It was the same thing with these horses. All of a sudden, you get a range of motion which is longer than what they would normally have. So the muscles have to work in a different way.
Wow.
So until the muscles get used to it, then it will take time. But so a week before the race, that is at least. But because you always have to have a day off after and a light training the next day, and then you can start. So if the horse isn't used to it, I would never recommend the horses to be worked on a week before.
Okay.
At least 10 days or something like that before. So because you also want to be able to train the horses correctly in a new balance and get them strong enough before the race. But if they're used to it, then I don't see any problem.
There you go. Easy.
So now we've got a good range backwards, good range forward, easy.